and shine. Rise and shine.
Good morning, Grenada, and welcome to Rise and Shine. It's your boy Troy Gill, and of course, you know how we do it. We have fitness professional Chris Williams, who's going to be leading us into our workout this morning to get your heart pumping, get your blood flowing, get you ready to start your day. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, best believe. Cards ready cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready cash, you already know. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready cash, always ready when you're ready, let's go.
Quartz Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
Sisson's WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Good morning, everybody. We want to get into a little sweat today. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit today, make things a little faster, see if we can get our heart rate to go up. So we're going to march. Fast march and high. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to cross. Next side. Four, 3, 2, 1. Keep it wide. Get the hands rolling. We're gonna go side, side. Push, push. Get that foot out. Keep it going. Now punch. Bring the hands up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Keep it right here tight. Let's go. 4, 3, 2. To the front. We're going to clap those hands below the legs. Double it up. One more. March it out again. 4,
3, 2, 1. V-step. We're gonna V-step and we're gonna jump it back. Get the hands in that V-step. Let's go. Four, 3, 2, 1. March. Moving to the right side. Grapevine. Pull it in. Pull it in. Pull it in. Pull that foot in. Pull it in. We're going to reach right here. We're going to hop. 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 One more hop right here. Grapevine again. 2 knees. One more. Keep it in the center, leg curl. 4, 3, 2, 1. Push your hands up. Don't mind the rain. Beautiful island of Grenada. The rain is a blessing. We're keeping it going. Push it forward. 4, 3, 2. Let's go. Move. Four, 3, 2, 1. Legs right here. Now punch. Punch. Push that hand out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next side. Next side again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Running on the spot. Keep it going. Wide. Close. Wide. Close. Wide. Close. Hold it there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Step jacks. Touch your fingers above your head. Don't forget to hydrate at any time. When you bring it back, just keep it going. 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs wide. Up. Four, 3, 2. Again, let's go. 4, 3, 2. Again, let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it here. Push. 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 Get the hands out using your palm. Push. Lean into it. Make it harder. Push. Push. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna reach. 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 Come on. Come on. Go for those toes. 4, 3, 2, 1. March it out. Higher. 4, 3, 2. Right side, right here. Next side. Next side. Next side. Next side. Next side. Come on. Keep it going. March it out. Feet wide. We're gonna slow it down right here. We're gonna hold it here. So right now we're working those quads. Hold it there. Get the arms in it. Work that shoulders. Hold it. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right here. Just hold it there. 4, 3, 2, 1. To the next side. Hold. 4, 3, 2. Move. 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 Push. Push. Come on. Keep those legs going. 4, 3, 2, 1. Side to side still. Keep those hands going. Push it out. Push it out. So you reach, 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 reach. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands right here, pump. Four, 3, 2, legs together, march. We're gonna slow it down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross your legs, go down. Bring it up. Cross it to the next side, go down. Bring it up. We're gonna turn. Push that hip down to the floor, hands up, lean back. Bring it together, stretch again. Bring it up. We're gonna turn, push your hips, drop your knee, hands up, lean back. Bring it together, bring it down, push the butt out, stretch, round the back, come up. Roll the shoulders. Roll it forward. Bring it around. Drop your head to the side and just gently apply pressure. Drop your hand next side. Gently apply pressure. Bring it up. Deep breath, hold it. Hands out, lean back. Bring it down. One more time. Up. Deep breath, hold it. Bring it down. One more time, bring it up. Take a deep breath. Enjoy your blessings. Bring it down. Give yourself a hearty round of applause. Thank you for being with us this morning. Hope to see you next time.
All right, guys, so we want to say a very special thank you to Chris Williams, fitness professional here in Grenada, for leading us into a workout to get your heart pumping, get your blood flowing, get you ready to start your day. And I want to encourage you guys to make healthy choices today. All right, remember to stay hydrated as well. Thanks again for joining us, guys. See you again next time.
I'm Tony Julian with the details. President of the Grenada Trades Union Council, Andre Lewis, weighs in on reports of what appears to be individuals questioning the competence of some Cuban doctors who are part of the Cuban mission to provide medical assistance to Grenada. According to Lewis, Cuba has continuously demonstrated its commitment to assisting in the development of Grenada's health sector.
The Technical and Allied Workers Union and the TUC, the labor movement, and all working class people of Grenada stands in solidarity with our Cuban brothers and sisters, our doctors, right, our engineers, and in particular our doctors who have been on attack in the recent weeks with the quality of service and that they provide to the people of Grenada. Cubans have demonstrated their selflessness over years and decades of service to Grenada. Not just to Grenada, but to the region and to the world.
Questioning the competence of the Cuban doctors also appears to insinuate that local medical doctors who were trained in Cuba and returned to serve are also incompetent, Lewis said.
The vast majority of our doctors, I will say, have been trained in Cuba. Because remember, the practice of medicine, the study of medicine is an expensive proposition. And many of our working class doctors would not have been able to be practitioners today had it not been for Cuba. And I can't see a master who is not good passing that knowledge to a student, and the student is good. Are you following me? So by implication, those who seek to discredit the Cubans for their contribution to Grenada's medicine, to the region and the world, are by extension putting at risk our own local practitioners who have benefited from not the generosity, in the capitalist world you say generosity, but from the commitment of the Cuban people.
Several other individuals also weighed in on the issue, including former Foreign Affairs Minister Peter David, who affirms that such claims have the potential to destroy the long-standing Cuban relations. Just after 2 p.m. on Saturday, police were called to the scene of an elderly man who was beaten by an unknown man. The 70-year-old, who lives alone, is from Creighton in St. George. He told MTV News that while sitting in his home on Saturday, someone from the outside asked for some water. However, he told the individual he did not have any. He said after the individual asked 2 more times, someone entered his house without permission and started scuffling with him. The elderly man received bruises on his body, including his lips. The elderly man says that he believes it was an attempted robbery, but was unsuccessful. Police were on the scene, he says, both on Saturday and Sunday, and investigations are continuing. Police are confirming that a St. Patrick resident is hospitalized following a shooting incident that occurred during the early hours of Saturday, the 18th of February. This incident occurred in the vicinity of Sugar Mill Roundabout, also known as Saigon, in Grandant, St. George. One man is at present in custody, assisting police with investigations. Law News Desk will, of course, continue to monitor this development. Earlier this month, meanwhile, an officer in charge of the Community Relations Department, ASP Simon Douglas, had expressed the Royal Grenada Police Force's concerns.
It is of grave concern, and we are working hard, putting structures in place to try to look into wherever guns might be out there that are not legal and how we can recover them. We have recovered several illegal firearms in recent months, and we are continuing to dig into every bit of information we receive, which suggests that there are others out there.
Meanwhile, the Royal Grenada Police Force recorded several serious accidents over the weekend. MTV News received an accident update from the officer attached to the Traffic Department, Constable Troy Paul.
Police Constable Troy Paul of the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force confirmed to MTV News that a motor vehicle accident occurred on the Maboya Public Road in St. John on Monday, leaving 4 persons hospitalized seeking medical attention. The accident happened between a passenger bus and a car, according to Constable Paul, and police investigations continue.
The traffic department can confirm that there were a motor vehicle accident which occurred along the Mabuya Public Road, that is in St. John. That accident occurred about 5:55 this morning. Yes, the accident involved a passenger bus and a car. Both vehicles were traveling in opposite direction when they had a head-on collision. As a result of the collision, 4 persons were injured as a resulting that accident. 3 persons from the car, including the driver and also the driver of the passenger bus. They were all taken to the General Hospital via ambulance to seek medical attention. So far, we know that 1 person who were injured were treated and sent home. We do not have the medical update for the other 3 who are still seeking medical attention.
Over 300 accidents were recorded island-wide for the year, according to Constable Paul. He says that this is a major concern for the traffic department of the RGPF.
As of January to now, the traffic department has recorded in excess of over 300 plus accidents which occurred along a nation road, which includes 2 road fatalities. And by the trajectory of things, it's 300 plus accidents is too many up to date for our nation.
Constable Paul lists some of the contributing factors for the accidents.
Speeding, one of the contributing factors. Persons drive over the speed limit or drive at a speed that they cannot control, thus resulting in motor vehicle accidents. Also, distracted driving. When persons are distracted by using cell phones, but a lot of people might think cell phone is the only distraction. There's a lot of other distractions.
The law enforcement officer says driving under the influence is also a major concern.
And what we see lately is the persons driving under the influence of alcohol. This is starting to show its ugly head, and we want to nip it where it starts. So we want persons that if you drink alcohol, do not drive. And if you intend to drink, please have a designated driver.
Head of the T.A. Marisho Community College, or TAMCC, Mirabo Farm School campus in St. Andrew, Samuel Andrew, highlights the work the school has been doing in boosting young people's involvement in agriculture and agro-processing, and by extension, local food production. According to reports, officials from the Ministry of Agriculture visited the school on Wednesday to get a better understanding of its operations to transform the school into an institute for agriculture and fisheries that is regionally accredited, including the rearing of good genetic breeds of swine and boosting poultry production. Andrew says his school has been heavily focused on increased short crop and poultry production for sale on the local market.
What we have been looking at is to do the livestock as well as the crops and diversifying across both spectrums. So when you go to the fields, you'll see that we are doing a lot of short crops, quick rotation, table crops, maybe 4, 5, 6 of them. That the vendors frequently want, the households like. That quick turnover increases the economic value in the south. Infrastructure needs, we have been upgrading. We have added new broiler units to increase our sale of chicken to the food line and the other institutions. We also sell for camp salines and other vendors who come in. So as far as we increase capacity, we increase the income that is generated.
The overall aim is to increase production in several areas to generate increased income for the school, Andrew said.
We have a very viable egg production, and we have rabbits that we sell frequently. So I try to continually increase the range of crops produced, the frequency of rotations, as well as the range of animals produced and the frequency of their turnover. Then we feel we can generate more income for the school, and we have been trying to do that along our pig lands as well.
The Mirabo Farm School is utilized by Year 2 students of the T.A. Marisho Community College as a hands-on training site in animal and crop production. Well, it was a fun and meaningful experience for members of the Girl Guides and Scouts movement here in Grenada on Sunday as they celebrated World Thinking Day. Keeping with the theme, the participants took part in activities that promote working together for positive change. Thinking Day also allowed the participants to remember and promote the values and convictions of the movement, as we hear now in a report from Troy Gill.
Under the theme, Our World, Our Peaceful Future, the Environment, Peace and Security, Girl Guides and Scouts engaged in their World Thinking Day activities at the National Stadium under the patronage of Governor General Dame Cecile La Grenade. This year's World Thinking Day is the continuation of a 3-year journey for members to become environmentally aware leaders. Dame Cecile La Grenade urged the guides and scouts to do their part as they focus on the theme for this year's observance.
And reflect on the activities we can conduct to protect our environment, promote peaceful coexistence, and allow our future, the future of our communities and the world, to be safe and secure. This theme is especially important because the future belongs to you, our youth.
Climate change, Dame Cecile La Grenade says, is nothing new to us here in Grenada.
We are experiencing periods of intense rainfall, resulting in severe flooding and mudslides, both of which are damaging to our environment and community. Some of our coastal communities have been forced to relocate because of rising sea levels, and our coral reefs, which are so important to sustain marine life and protect coastlines from erosion, are becoming bleached and are dying.
With the many challenges facing girls and women across the globe, the guides and rangers were charged with the responsibility to be the change they want to see.
We are witnessing an increase in violent crimes, sexual crimes against girls, and even femicides or the killing of young women. Today, let us take time to think about ways in which the guiding movement in Grenada can help overcome the challenges we face. You may be wondering how my small actions as a single individual can be of value. Small actions have a big impact.
For MTV News, Troy Gill.
Queen of Calypso, Lady B, Groovy Monarch, Golden and Soca Monarch, Mozo, all retained their titles in Kayak Mass 2023. Revelers grace the streets on Monday morning for Juve, and that ends the night with Monday Night Mass. It was indeed a packed weekend of activities, with the curtains coming down on Kayak Mass Tuesday. There are some of the highlights of the events that took place over on the Sister Isle of Carriacou.
We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. The green in Rihanna's dress stands for balance, nature, spring, and rebirth. It's the symbol of prosperity, freshness, and progress. This beautiful and still in green sequins and rhinestone evening dress is made with luxury sequin lace fabric and satin material.
If they're going to take her back, if they want her to hold her heart, if they pack towel to shock, they came to wine on this spot. I am like a voice in the wilderness, I'm telling all you in all your face. Time to cut out this flaming thing, or if all your hands touch it, you can share houses before election. Until now nobody can go in one dream time. What the hell are you talking?
Artificial insemination is high on the agenda of the Ministry of Agriculture as they engage farmers and try to develop the sector and the sustainability of large and small ruminants. This new development was highlighted at a recently held meeting with farmers who welcomed the idea. We hear more from Donella Hostin.
And through artificial insemination, pigs is the easiest animal to AI, so that's something that we can teach you very easily to do. So I think if a greater emphasis on genetics is put, right, and again a good nutritional plan. But like I said to you, that's what it did for Jamaica. Went from 60% to 100% self-sufficient, except for bellies, because remember, one pig only has so much bellies, yeah? And again, look what it did for the yields also. The carcass weight increased almost 100%. The time went down by 2 months, and then the yield of the carcass was improved to by 10%.
That was Dr. Gabriel Young, vet and FAO consultant, speaking at the recent meeting with livestock farmers hosted by the Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Adrian Thomas. There were, however, some mixed reactions to the use of genetics and artificial insemination, as the process can be expensive.
The AI key, there's no way that we can, even if we brought it in independently, it's quite expensive. So I hope that, you do good on your word of, bringing this in, and we're not just having conversations.
I have taken the opportunity in going ahead. I have imported some sheep and some goats from the US, and I'm in the process of getting some more. My problem is when you have invested so heavily, I can tell you the truth, it cost us $43,000 just to bring in those animals.
The elderly folks they don't like the insemination thing. They won't want the natural surveying, but they do a good breed. Some small thing, maybe 3 for 10.
Also speaking about some of the tentative plans of the ministry was Permanent Secretary Aaron Francois.
One of the places we are going to use is we are going to use the farm school as a major center for breeding. We're going to bring the purebred animals, sows, bulls, put a proper breeding program there and have them multiply, yeah? And then we're going to make offsprings available to farmers. Additionally, we are going to go beyond that because we know some of you all are operating farms, and some of the bulls that we're going to bring in, we're going to assign it to some of the farmers, yeah? Farmers that have good management systems because we want the animals to be taken properly care of.
Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hostin.
Well-known businessman Matthew Harris, also
Rise and shine.
Good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine for today, Tuesday, the 21st day of February 2023. It's Carnival Tuesday in Trinidad and also here in our sister Isle, Carriacou. It is happening everywhere. It's a very, very busy morning here in Grenada. It's a bit quiet because we know most Grenadians are up on the sister Isle having a good time. We have not heard of any major incidents, so that's great. Continue to have a good time and let CAC-MAS 2023 be a memorable one. I'm Arcelyn Crosby. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. One where we give you the perfect start to your day, but also we share very, 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 very interesting and important information with you to help you make informed decisions. And today will be no different. Today we will be sharing with you a pre-recorded interview with Superintendent Leroy Joseph from the Immigration Department. He's the officer in charge there, sharing some much needed information with us. And as always, we help you plan your day by going over to the Met Office. Though we are supposed to be in the dry season, we have been getting mixed conditions. We're not boiling, we're not making noise. We are grateful for everything. But let's go over to the forecasters to hear what's happening with the weather for today. Good morning.
Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners.
Here is the weather for today, Tuesday, 21st February 2023. Presently at the airport, conditions are fair. Winds are from the northeast at 12 miles per hour. Pressure 1014.7 millibars, which is above normal and rising. Present temperature 24.0 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 77%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 29.7 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature last night 23.5 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, there was only a trace of rainfall at the airport. Hence, the total for the month remains at 14.6 millimeters. Looking at the public forecast, valid for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be generally fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy at times with brief isolated showers. Today's maximum temperature 30.0 degrees Celsius. Winds northeasterly to easterly at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Seas moderate with waves 5 to 7 feet in northeasterly swells. A small craft advisory remains in effect. Tides are currently falling and will be low at 11 a.m., high at 5 p.m. Sunset today 6:16, sunrise tomorrow 6:27. Again, the weather is expected to be generally fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy at times with brief isolated showers. A small craft advisory remains in effect. From the Met Office, I am Cassia Johnson.
Generally fair and breezy. With that, we know that the sea conditions will be a bit agitated over the weekend. NADMA sent out aerially speaking to high winds and rough seas. And I want to encourage all to be careful. We know that you'll be moving in and out of Grenada and the Sister Isles for, well, today, over the weekend, today and tomorrow. Trying to get back home, moving people from one island to the other. Please be extra cautious as the seas are agitated. I know our fisher folks have been feeling the pinch from it. Speaking to a family member that is a fisherman, and the seas are rough. It's rough. So let's please be extra cautious. Agitated seas out there. Do all that you can to ensure that you are safe. Let's go over now to our word of the day. And today's word comes from Angelique Cephas. She's a Form 5 student at St. Joseph's Convent, Grenville.
Hey, my name is Angelique Cephas, and I'm a Form 5 student of St. Joseph's Convent, Grenville. The word for today is exasperated. Exasperated means a feeling of annoyance. Exasperated with the attitude of his boss, the employee tendered his resignation.
Exasperated. Yes, exasperated. Thank you so much, Angelique. That's our word of the day. Remember, if you do feel as if you are exasperated, it's important that you rest. Yes, exasperated, our word of the day. Let's go in now and take in our emergency tip for the morning. We are supposed to be in the dry season, but as I did say earlier, we are getting some mixed conditions. And we still, though, have to prepare you for what's to come, because the forecasters are predicting some extreme heat as you move deeper in the middle of the dry season. So to beat the heat, extreme heat-related deaths are preventable. What? Extreme heat or heat waves occur when the temperature reaches extremely high levels, or when the combination of heat and humidity causes air to become oppressive, right? So for who? Children, the older people, so our senior citizens, outside workers, construction, and other people who work in the field, and people living with disabilities. Where? Your house with little to no AC, construction workers, and cars, right? That's where the heat can come from. And how to avoid it? Stay hydrated, drink lots of water, and avoid sugary beverages. Remember, sugar pulls water from the body, not retain. So drink lots of water. Stay cool in an air-conditioned area, or in the case where we don't have the control with air condition, then there are always tree cover that can provide us with that kind of support. And then you wear lightweight clothing and also light-colored and loose-fitting clothes. It would make you feel a lot more comfortable. For you to be hot and still have tight clothes on you, that makes your life very, very, very uncomfortable. So, as we move into the dry season, as I said, it is not extremely hot yet. We're still having mixed conditions. We've been getting some water in between, so our plants and so still look pretty green. Our ground, it's still a bit soft, but as we move deeper into the dry season, the forecasters are warning of some extreme heat to come. So as we do so, farmers, be prepared. I know NAWASA is doing what they need to do, but as homeowners, just as individual citizens, we have our part to play too, to ensure that we have our reserves, yes, there, an adequate reserve to be able to carry you and your family for a couple of days. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're taking that pre-recorded interview with Superintendent Leroy Joseph, head of the Immigration Department, speaking about some of the things that we need to know as it relates to that of our border protection, what are our responsibility in this, and how we can make things easier for immigration officers. We'll be back shortly.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Courts have you covered, best believe. Courts Ready Cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all. We on the go. Courts Ready Cash, you already know. We got it all. We on the go. Courts Ready Cash, always ready when you're ready. Let's go.
Courts Ready Cash, ready when you are.
Do you know that you can lower your electricity bill by using energy-saving bulbs? CFLs and LEDs use up to 75% less energy than your traditional bulbs, and they even last 10 to 25 times longer. Over time, consider switching to more energy-efficient CFLs and LEDs, which can help lower your electricity bill. As an individual consumer, I cannot impact global fuel prices. However, I can ease the burden of rising fuel rates by using energy-saving bulbs. What can you do?
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Sisson's WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. The time now it's 7:48 in the morning. And as we promised you before we went on the break, we are going to share with you now a pre-recorded interview with Superintendent Leroy Joseph. He is the officer in charge of the Immigration Department, speaking to us about some of the things that we need to know and more so what we can do to ensure that we protect our borders and that we play our part in that process. So let's take in that pre-recorded piece.
15 Haitian nationals entered Grenada at the Maurice Bishop International Airport via Trinidad en route from St. Martin, with their final destination being Grenada. The immigration officials, after conducting the necessary checks, formed the view that the Haitian nationals did not have sufficient means to be able to take care of themselves while in Grenada, and formed the view that they would therefore be a charge on the public purse. As a result, the decision has been taken to repatriate the Haitians. We are currently in discussions with our colleagues in Trinidad and Tobago and St. Martin to do so. So they're currently being housed by us, and we are making efforts to get a flight to get them out of Grenada on tonight.
Superintendent Leroy Joseph, Head of Immigration and Passport Department. Nothing could have done differently. The matter with the Haitian, the 15 Haitians enter our borders. They was interviewed and processed. They did not meet immigration requirements, and as a result, they were refused leave to land. They enter legally with insufficient funds. To enter our border as an alien, meaning someone who is not a citizen of Grenada, you must have sufficient means to support yourself. Intended address, someone who will take care of you. However, the 15 Haitians did not have sufficient funds to maintain themselves. And if landed, there would have been a charge on the public purse, meaning that there would be a charge on the consolidated fund due to insufficient funds. This is consistent with our laws, our immigration regulation, section 5, subsection 3. It is also consistent as a Haiti as member of CARICOM. Is also consistent with the CCJ ruling in the Shanik Mary case. It is consistent with the United Nations High Commission on Refugee. They did not apply for refugee, so we could not have landed them as refugees. So it's consistent. We didn't do anything, immigration did not do anything ultra virus to any existing laws. So we act within the community law, which is the revised Treaty of Chagaramas. The conference decision of 2007, when I say conference, the Prime Minister and President of CARICOM. So whenever the conference make a decision, the decision is legally binding. And in 2007, the CARICOM heads of government took a decision that only 2 grounds you can refuse someone entry into a CARICOM member state. The ground of being undesirable and a charge on the public purse. In the Shanik Mary case, same thing. The CCJ ruled that you could refuse someone as a CARICOM national on only 2 grounds, and it must be done strict and narrow, meaning that not arbitrarily immigration officer can refuse someone. So immigration acted in concert with the community law, national law, and international law at our borders. So we did nothing wrong at our border. This is not the first time we refuse persons. Haitian national been refused before, Trinidadian, Jamaican will be refused before as CARICOM national. And this, the refusal of 15 Haitians is nothing different to any persons in the CARICOM member state who immigration in Grenada refuse entry.
With regards to the whole situation that is currently happening in Haiti right now, how concerned is the immigration department with regards to this, especially if any of these individuals, they say, decide to come in through illegal means?
If they come in through illegal means, that is a separate issue. If they come by illegal means, I would believe that you're referring to maybe by the sea with a vessel, they will be dealt with accordingly. They will be charged for entering the sea without the consent of an immigration officer, which is a violation of Section 11 of the Immigration Act. But they came with by air, with the aircraft, and there was refused and repatriated to the last port of embarkation. In that instant case, Trinidad was the last port of embarkation.
Also, I think that may be the final question. Can you explain to us what is the difference for people who don't understand between deportation,
illegal refusal.
Right. So what are the differences in terminologies here?
Right. Excellent. Now there are 3 categories of expulsion, by which I mean you could expel somebody from the state, in particular the state of Grenada. One, by deportation order. That is an order signed by the Minister for Immigration to have someone deported under 26(1) of the Immigration Act. So you commit a crime, you've been on island, you commit a crime, you may probably have a series of conviction, or you may commit a serious crime. The Minister for Immigration can sign a deportation order and have you deported. And in this order, you have to stay out of Grenada thereafter. Second, a removal order. Section 18 of the Immigration Act speaks to a removal order. An immigration officer can make an application to the court to have somebody removed. Somebody may be a convicted person. You have them removed by the magistrate. You can consider it to be a judicial order. And thirdly, you have the refusal of entry. At the border, someone may not meet the requirement, and they will have to be refused entry. In this instant case, they did not meet the immigration requirement. They had insufficient funds to sustain themselves for the period of time, and as a result, they was expelled. So there are three forms of expulsion. I know people mix the terminology. However, in this case, the person was refused leave to land from the state of Grenada.
The issue of Haiti and the challenges it poses for immigration as well as security throughout the region is an issue, obviously, that we've been grappling with as CARICOM, and we expect that this issue also will be addressed by the heads while when we are in NASA. So I wanted to let the public be aware of that.
Okay. On a different matter, so there's another issue involving 5 individuals. I think 2 St. Lucians and 3 individuals from Cameroon. Are you aware of?
Yes.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about?
Well, the 7 persons, as you mentioned, 5 Cameroonian and 2 St. Lucian, they came from St. Lucia. With an open boat, they entered the port of Grenville. The Cameroonians did not have a ticket to the homeland, and as a result, they was refused leave to land. The St. Lucian took them back to St. Lucia with an open speedboat. We didn't have any charges laid against the St. Lucian. They was free as OECS national, and they was repatriated to St. Lucia, save and except the 2 St. Lucian. They carried them here with the speedboat, and they left Grenada waters with the speedboat. But the 5 Cameroonian, there was refused leave to that.
What happens in this case? Like you have these, well, not the Solutions obviously, but the Cameroonians. What's the procedure with regards to these individuals? Well, considering they are out of our territory.
Well, whenever you enter any state, you must have sufficient funds and a return ticket. In some case, they did not have a return ticket to the Cameroon, and there was refused leave to land as a result, consistent with Section 5, subsection B of the immigration regulation. They did not meet that requirement, and there was refused leave to land.
Rise and shine.
So there we had it. That was an explanation provided by Superintendent Leroy Joseph. That was in response to an announcement that was made by Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell at a recent post-cabinet briefing on the landing of some 15 Haitians here in Grenada that was denied entry. They were deported back to Trinidad on their way back to St. Martin to go back to Haiti. And we had there in that interview Superintendent Joseph explaining why this happened, how it does not go against anything as it relates to us being in CARICOM, among other conventions that bind us there, and how that is usual. It's a normal thing, and And I think that is what the explanation was all about. It is not a case where this was done only to Haitians, because I know it did stir a conversation here on island as to why we treated the Haitians that way. Any country you enter, if you cannot take care of yourself, if you cannot show proof that you are able to support yourself, then it means that you will be living on the country's purse. You have to control the country's borders, one. And two, you also have to protect the economic impact of such a thing here on island. Can we afford to support additional people? No. And that's some of the questions I'm sure that's considered by our immigration officers whenever you do enter. You travel, and from time to time they may ask you whether or not you plan to work. You don't have a work permit, so you're not supposed to be working. So there are lots of things. There are rules to everything that we do. And if there are no rules, then you have a lawless state. Lawless states creates anarchy. At the end of the day, you cannot move forward because there's constant unrest. We have to protect our borders. And I think sometimes we blow things out of proportion. It's based on our opinion. But our opinions are not informed opinions. It is based on feelings. You cannot use feelings to run a country. There must be rules. So that was the explanation there provided by Superintendent Joseph as to why this was done, how it helps protect what we have here in Grenada. And in future, yes, we may be able to assist, but it cannot be just in this ad hoc manner, right? So that's it for that interview. Thank you so much, Troy, there for sharing that piece with us, that pre-recorded piece with us, done with Superintendent Leroy Joseph, head of the Immigration Department. So it's now 8 o'clock. For most people, your day starts. Janelle, thank you. Morning, have a great day. All the staff out there, my team, the newsroom, everyone. Have a great day, everyone. A productive day is what we should be having. Our little ones that are head on off to school already, make the day productive. Learn, learn, learn. That's important. Very, very important. Have a wonderful day. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we speak to Chelsea Anthony. She is a communication specialist of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, speaking all about the story competition that's coming up that people here in Grenada can participate in. We'll be back shortly.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
For your education.
for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere. The Grenlec mobile app. Download for 24/7 access.
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky's falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Speed it up to your inner move. Stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It's now 3 minutes past 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, as we promised you before we went on the break, so we have two guests and not one. We will be speaking this morning to the communication specialist of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, Ms. Tekla Fontenade, and the communications assistant, that's Ms. Chelsea Gill Anthony. And today we're speaking about My Climate Change and Health Story competition. Good morning, ladies, and thank you so much for being here with me.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Oslin. It's our pleasure.
It is a pleasure to have you also. This morning we are talking about that special competition, but before we get into information on the competition, I'm going to start off with you, Ms. Fontenade, to share with us some background to who is the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center. What are your objectives? What's your mandate?
So the 5 Cs, as we call it, the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, whose headquarters is in Belmopan in Belize, was established in 2002, and its mandate is to coordinate the region's response to climate change. So it does that through seeking funding from international donor agencies for climate change adaptation, mitigation, and projects that help build climate compatibility in the Caribbean countries. And it organizes a space at the at the Conference of Parties. That's the global climate change conference that takes place every year, where all governments come to talk about their climate ambitions to reduce climate change, to reduce greenhouse gases. So its major mandate is to create projects, bankable projects, that can have wide-scale impact in the Caribbean to build climate change compatibility.
Okay. So far, it is the ongoing conversation in the region, not just, well, with you being charged with that responsibility. How do you think our fight has been going so far, if we are to measure our progress? I know we are a dot in the region as it relates to what we do, our emissions and our ambitions, climate change, but we have been feeling the impact. How do you think we have been doing if we are to measure our progress in activities and so implemented?
So I may not be 100% qualified to answer that question very well, especially because I only work in comms and I'm not necessarily technically competent in climate change. But what the 5 Cs have one of its mantras for the last at least 15 years has been to try to keep greenhouse gases at no more than 1.5. In other words, to keep atmospheric temperatures at no more than 1.5 degrees. So we had created a mantra many years ago called 1.5 to stay alive, and have tried on the global agenda for many years to ask countries to try to keep their emissions at 1.5 degrees, so that if they go above that, there is a threat that the world will become too hot for us to live. That means impacts will become worse. You know, we sit in the hurricane belt. We know that predictions and patterns are also showing that climate change, that hurricanes and disasters are getting more intense, are happening much faster, a lot more intense, a lot more damage. We get a lot more damage from destructions suffered from hurricanes, etc. So when you have higher atmospheric temperatures, it means you have greater climate change impacts. Yeah. So the call and the cry and the rally was to keep global temperatures down at 1.5. But according to scientific predictions, it's already surpassing that. And it's due to surpass that before the next 5 years. So we had called for it not to go past, before it should not go past by 2030. That would have been the year they should work towards keeping greenhouse gas emissions lower or at that threshold by 2030. So the call was that for countries to say what they would do to keep the greenhouse gas emissions low, but that has not happened globally. So we still feel the impacts of climate change. We're still losing our beaches. We're still losing. Farmers are struggling. Fish stocks are lowering, and then we have all these other damages that come from hurricane impacts.
Yes, we are. We are always in the conversation. Each year now, it's our downtime, what is supposed to be our dry season. We have been experiencing mixed conditions here in Grenada. So I think we are all, it is the ongoing conversation. Nothing appears to be the same. And the same reason we hear climate change. It is usually hot now, but we're getting rain. We're getting more rain than sun. And we're asking ourselves what's really going on. But I guess we have to live with it and do what we can do to see how we can continue to ensure that we survive in these harsh conditions.
Yeah. So there's the fear that we will get hotter and hotter. The ambitions we're supposed to set, in the parts of the world where greenhouse gas emissions are higher, are not being set, and we are constantly finding ourselves disappointed by that, and then we feel the impacts every day.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Let's bring in Ms. Anthony in the conversation. Chelsea, thank you so much for being here with us. The campaign, My Climate Change and Health Story. And I know you will be sharing with us on the campaign. Let us start off with the campaign. What's the overall objective? And then we would get into the actual competition. What is expected and who are eligible?
Okay, so are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so Tekla would have mentioned that the 5Cs works to implement projects that would strengthen the region's resilience to climate change, and one such project is the Climate Change and Health project that the EU, the European Union, has funded. We are one of 5 regional partners that are working specifically to strengthen the health sector and systems in the region. So the campaign, the I Deserve a Better Climate for My Health campaign, is being implemented or rolled out under that project. Now, one of the first activities that we're rolling out is the My Climate Change and Health Story competition. And we're targeting young people across the 16 CARIFORUM countries, ages 9 to 30, to be a part of this campaign, to let your voices be heard, to know that you're viewed, you're critical in implementing and effecting the change that's needed to be this, to be a part of the solution. So we are inviting young people to share compelling original stories about how climate change is impacting their life. And Tekla would have mentioned some of the impacts that we're seeing, but we have organizations like PAHO and the World Health Organization who are saying consistently that climate change is the biggest health threat that humanity is facing. And so we see that not only is it impacting our environment, but it is also impacting our lives and the quality of life that we can have. So when we hear of stories of people in the Dominica, young people in Dominica who experienced Hurricane Maria, or people in Trinidad with the bushfires, we've heard of Grenada's very own Raheem Smith, who shared that he almost lost his life in Hurricane Ivan in 2004. So we want to hear those types of stories, how it is affecting us, even in terms of, it's easy. We've learned that it's easy for persons to draw connections about how climate change is impacting their health from flooding and hurricanes and heat. But when it comes to other areas such as food security, water security, and mental health, those are the connections that we want to help people to draw so that they can take the adequate actions.
Okay, so we're looking for compelling stories. This one is interesting because I'm sure even though Ivan is 16, over 15 years now we were impacted. people are still traumatized by the effects of every hurricane season. I know people go into panic mode as relates to shopping, preparing. The minute you say there's a system coming, then everybody jumps into action because it is still very, very current and for many people. With these stories though, yes, I know that there will be a prize as a way of incentivizing and encouraging people to participate. But what else do you use these stories for?
So we are going to help amplify those voices. We will work along with our partners, with PAHO, and we want to channel those stories up. We help our communities and, more importantly, our leaders and decision makers to become aware of specifically how we're being affected, and to also have the opportunity to suggest the type of actions that we want to see that would help, to address those impacts. So we want young people to know in Grenada and across the CARIFORUM that they have a voice, they can use their voice, and we will help to support them to let their voices be heard.
Okay. Deadlines, who do they submit to, what email address, that kind of thing. And I know we have the age and we have what they'll be writing to. So deadlines, so the timelines, and also maybe words. Is there an amount of words that they need to submit in these stories? Are they allowed to record them, or it must be in writing? Break down those parts of the competition for us.
So you can submit young people can submit in two categories: a written story or a video story. So the written story, we're asking for approximately 800 words, or a minimum of 650, and we're asking for video recording of up to 1 minute. And the prizes, we will have 3 winners in each of the categories, and the first place prize for the written story is $300. Second place is $250, and third place is $150 for the written category. Now for the video category, the first place is $500, the second place is $300, and the third place is $200. We're inviting people to submit by February 28th, which is roughly a week away, but you do have enough time to come to, think about what you're passionate about, how it has impacted you or is impacting you now, and to share with us.
Okay, excellent. The email address, who did they submit to, so that we can, because I'm trying to write so that I can share as much information after we complete this interview as possible.
Sure. So the email address for you to submit is campaign@caribbeanclimate.bz.
Okay. Caribbeanclimate.gz.
B as in Belize.
Oh, Belize.
BZ.
Okay.
BZ.
Okay. All right. So anything I want to bring back Ms. Fontenade in the conversation. I know Anthony, you shared with us the background to the campaign. Ms. Fontenade, I'm hearing a lot here, and I know it forms part of the mandate that you shared with us earlier when you said that it is about not just raising, but also to keep the conversation going on as it relates to climate change in the region. Finding funding, yes, it's one part of it, but ensuring awareness, we know, is how we get how we can prompt change. What are your expectations as to how far this campaign can go as it relates to you achieving that overall objective of keeping that conversation going? And I think the target is excellent. It's our young people. They are the ones that have to initiate change, because tomorrow is more about them rather than us. Now, who may soon retire?
So climate change is a cross-cutting issue. As we know, it cuts across all sectors of society. And this is just one aspect that Chelsea's campaign, or our campaign, this particular campaign that Chelsea developed, is targeting. So it cuts across all sectors. We know from knowledge, attitude, and practice surveys that we have done, I have been associated with them for a long time, since the days when I worked at the OECS, and then more recently at the 5Cs, where we've done an awareness survey to see what people know about climate change. Whether people have heard the term, what they don't know about it, how do they associate climate change with everyday life, if they take responsibility for greenhouse gases themselves, because everybody have to reduce their own individual footprint. And so we know, according to awareness surveys, that people know the term. I think in general, we would say the baseline shows that over 70% of people in most countries in the Caribbean, for sure in Grenada, from an awareness survey I was associated with up to 2017, at least 70% of people know about climate change. They've heard the term, they can associate it to hotter days, cold nights, more rain, more disasters, and so on. What's important for me, especially as a comms specialist working in this area, is not just knowledge, but behavior change. We don't just want you to be aware and to know, but we want to see what are you doing, what type of climate action you're taking to reduce emissions, to reduce your own carbon footprint, and to help build climate resilience. So we want to try to encourage people to take individual action. Too many times people are waiting for the government to do something, but we can take individual action. Climate change stories come from us. It comes from our children. It can come from our other members of our family. It comes from our neighbors. And one of the hallmarks of my work across the region, and that I'm trying to start to do again, is to specifically target the press, the media. Mainstream journalism is still a key place where Caribbean people go for information. I know the social media landscape has broadened, and they tout that they are better than mass media. But I will tell you, according to our awareness surveys, mass media is still the place that people find more credible than social media. Okay, so mass media is still the more credible source of information. It's still the preferred source for certain demographics in the Caribbean. Young people, obviously, because the social media landscape, busted at the time they were born. They obviously according to the survey, they gravitate more to it. But there are older people in the Caribbean. There are different age groups in the Caribbean, and so the important thing for me is to try to make sure that I'm using multimedia platforms to bring the message, to ensure that we're speaking about different aspects of how climate change is affecting us. Health is just one, as this campaign is doing, and to ensure that everybody is on board and people recognize that it's not about waiting to see what the government is doing, but taking an action ourselves, reducing the use of using more renewable energy bulbs, having sustainable gardens, home gardens that help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, changing the type of car you drive, etc., turning off the pipe when you're not using it, when you're brushing your teeth, using a bucket to wash your car rather than. So for me, the most important thing of any campaign, including this one, is what action you're taking towards about climate change, what opportunities and investments that you are seeing that you could do yourself as a private investor, etc. I think, and more we see, we are called to stop the fear mongering and stop appealing to people's emotions, and instead appeal to people's reasoning. Take an action rather than making them feel angry, fearful, and all these things sometimes we use as, to make people feel afraid about climate change. I'm trying to change that narrative and try to help people feel they can do something about it. And so that's where that campaign and others that we're going to be rolling out in the next couple of years, that's where we want to go with awareness campaigns.
Excellent. I think this would definitely prompt more action, rather, and as you rightfully said it, rather than fear. Because and the thing is, once emotions step in, reasoning stops. And once reasoning stops, so too is action. And it therefore means that you never get the intended outcome from whatever it is that you are trying to do. because we try to focus too much on psychology rather than prompting people to get up and do something.
Yes, so climate change is very complex to talk about. Also, okay, it's a very complex topic. And the challenge we have is to simplify and to make everybody know that they can talk about it, just how it's just a matter of understanding it and expressing it, like in this campaign. Write how you feel about it, draw how you feel about it, record yourself saying something about it. Yeah.
Excellent. I think that certainly prompts the creative element, the creative part of people, which would definitely make a difference. And I will definitely continue to encourage our Grenadian young people, our young Grenadian youths, because from 9 to 30, to write or record their pieces. We're not even focusing so much on the attractive prizes. Yes, they are very attractive, but more so to get us to start the conversation, as it would prompt us to do something, do the little things that where we can make a difference. And I really do love this campaign. I like the thinking behind it, the strategy, what it's geared towards for you to achieve. And at the end of the day, we will all win. Yes, we are a dot, but if every dot do what we need to do, at the end of the day, the dot will make up a significant part of the puzzle that is making a difference.
Yes. So what we would do, Oslin, also is try to encourage you as a talk show host, and I'm not sure other roles you play at MTV, to keep the conversation going. Mainstream journalists must become more and more climate aware, and they should also drive the climate change agenda. And as I said, if we can stop, using the tactics where we are making people, like in our survey, we would ask, how do you feel about climate change? And some of the strong emotions that come out is not what we want to see.
Yeah.
What we want to see is, we're taking action. We're not afraid. We're not angry anymore. We know what we want to do. So we would like you to come on board as well, and we, to make sure that you are also driving and helping us to reach the public, because you also play a very significant role. It's not just social media.
I accept and I agree, and I agree entirely. It's only yesterday we were having a similar conversation on that of disaster management and what are your more powerful tools. And it's interesting that today we have this conversation that it is not just social media, but rather multimedia, because we still have to cater for our target groups that are not necessarily on social media, which form part of our vulnerable groups, our more elderly. Our little ones, yes, some of them are not necessarily on social media, now been introduced to it, but we cannot allow ourselves to be lost in social media and what it has grown to become, because multimedia is still essentially critical and important in what we do.
So maybe Chelsea can say a little more, if you have the time, about what else we have that's going to be rolling out, because the campaign has some other activities.
Please do. Chelsea, you can go ahead.
All right, so we launched in January and the campaign will run up till June, the end of June. And some of the other activities will, right after this competition, we have an art competition. And in April, we'll be having a poetry competition. In May, we have a photo competition. And in June, we round off and close out with a letter to my leader activity. So these will be segmented in each month leading up to June. Again, like you mentioned, as an individual, you may feel like your voice is too small to make a change, but we're hoping that the campaign goes far and wide, and together as a region, young people can demonstrate that, yes, we are important, we're needed to make the change, for our leaders to, put in the actions that will bring about solutions for us.
And Ms. Fontenay, I'm hoping that you guys can come back as this one wraps up next week. We realize that every month there is another activity, so that you can come back and continue to promote it and encourage, so we can encourage our young people to be a part of the different activities that the 5 C's have been rolling out to ensure that we keep the conversation on climate change. It's always in front of us, but more so not create fear, but prompt us. But prompt us to action, yes? Fuel us to take action that makes a difference. I want to give both of you now an opportunity just to share some parting words with us before you run off.
So what I would say again, just in case someone is joining us now, is that to remember that climate change affects all of us. It's a cross-cutting issue. It affects health, it affects our homes, it affects the beaches we used to walk on before, and now the seas has flooded communities, or has flooded, and now we can no longer walk on beaches that we used to walk on, or we can no longer bathe because there's no beachfront anymore. Climate change is causing damage to our houses, and some of us can't afford insurance. And on and on and on. Climate change is making us hot. Climate change is bringing floods. Climate change is bringing rains when it's not expected, and it's not bringing rains when it's expected. Which it means it's affecting crops, and so on, and therefore affecting what we can eat and having healthy choices. Climate change is cross-cutting. I would encourage everyone out there to recognize that climate change is not happening over there. That's another thing we think, oh, that's just something that's happening in the US or in China. That's just affecting the ice caps. Climate change affects all of us. And so my appeal would be for everyone to recognize that and to take some small action and join the conversation. And I would make a special appeal again to MTV and to all media to also come on board and help us drive. We have launched a campaign to award good journalism in climate change with the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, and we will be doing 12 climate change categories, and we will be honoring media people later this year along with the CBU. So that's just our continued efforts to try to ensure that the media continues to drive the agenda, recognize they have a role to play, and give us excellence in reporting, and that everybody can make a difference.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Fontana. Chelsea?
And for me, I would say for young people to know that, when we hear of these things, they often say that it's, for your future, and you think of it as something as distant, but we want you to know that we recognize the impacts are now. It's affecting your quality of life now and the quality of life that you can have. And so it's very important for us to take action. We want to continue to encourage you to, be a part of the conversation, like Tekla mentioned, and to know that we will be supporting you at the 5Cs and working along with our partners to support you.
Great. Thank you so much, Chelsea and Ms. Fontenot, for being here with us this morning. It was a pleasure. A very interesting conversation on the competitions. I will continue to encourage our young people to take part and to keep the conversation prominent. If we keep speaking to it, we know that through repetition, then we retain, then it will prompt action. So let us continue to do what we do. If we all play our part, I think we would all see a difference in people's behavior. So to both of you, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, and I will continue to share the information on the different campaigns that will be coming up this month, next month, up to June of this year, as the 5Cs continue to keep the information, or rather the conversation on climate change relevant.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Have yourself a great day. So that was it. Miss Tekla Fontenot and Chelsea Anthony there from the 5Cs, the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, speaking to us about the campaigns. My Climate Change and Health Story, that is one of them. It's a competition that will be running up until the 28th of February. Eligible people 9 years to 30, you can participate. What do you need to do? You can write a story, 800 words maximum, 650 words minimum, and you submit it. Yeah. Or you can also do a video recording of 1 minute, sharing compelling original stories of how climate change has impacted you. You heard in the interview there with Chelsea, there was a young man from Grenada who shared his story about his experience doing Ivan, that he almost lost his life. People from Dominica sharing their experience from Hurricane Irma. And the prizes for this campaign, for the winners, For the written part, you can win 300 US if you win. Second place, 250 US. And third place, 150 US dollars. For the video submission, 500 US, 300 second place, and 200 US for the third place. You submit, you send off your pieces to campaigns@caribbeanclimate.bz. Remember, their office is located in Belize. So that email again, campaigns@caribbeanclimate.bz. Please take part in this in this campaign and many more that's coming after this. In the month of May, there'll be a photo competition. In the month of June, it culminates in the month of June, letter to my leader. And remember, it's all about climate change. What can you do to make a difference? What have you been doing? What maybe you have never thought about it that way. But what can you do? What can you do? As you heard Tekla shared some of it, you can turn off the taps. Use a bucket to wash your vehicle. Yes, turn off your taps when you're in the shower and you may be doing other things. No need for the water to run. Let us protect this place that we have to live on. And remember, the little things. Don't think that it's beyond you, that it's not affecting you. It is affecting us. Our hazards are becoming more and more aggressive. For example, the hurricanes are a lot bigger than they used to be. They are behaving differently. What can we do? Play a part. Play a part. First, understand how climate change has been affecting our hurricanes, our cyclones, and you now figure, what are the little things that I can do to make a difference? You can make a difference. But first, you have to take that first step. Do what you can today and let us protect our environment. And that's where we conclude for today on Rise and Shine. First, we shared a pre-recorded piece with you, an explanation from Superintendent Leroy Joseph, him speaking about head of the Immigration Department here in Grenada, giving an explanation as to why the Haitians were turned away. Yes, from that announcement made by Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell at that post-cabinet briefing last week, providing us an explanation as to why that happened. And remember, we have a responsibility to protect our borders. Yes, we must. We must. And then our final conversation, we had it with representatives of 5Cs, Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, Tekla Fontenade and Chelsea Anthony. They're speaking about My Climate Change and Health Story competition, what you can do to be a part, what are the prizes, what are you expected to share, and who you send it to. Be a part of it. Please, I encourage our young people, please participate. Do a submission. It's not much words. It gives you an opportunity to polish up on your writing, be more expressive. It helps you. And remember, multimedia and not just social media, yes? Let us engage our people. Let us not forget the traditional mediums to sharing information. With the emergence of social media, it does not mean that it has outlived or that because of this that we expire the other platforms. They are all important. Let's employ all of them. But more so, let the information that we share empower people to do something, prompt you to action, but action that makes a difference. This is where I say goodbye for today. On behalf of everyone that has been here with us, our guest, thank you so much for being here. Our viewers, thank you for always being here with us and listening, sharing, following, your suggestions, queries. The extended family here at MTV, thank you again. Our sponsors, we are forever grateful to you. The team, Elton, Tanya, Sugars, thank you again for another successful morning. On behalf of me and everyone else, we say thank you so much for always being here with us. We'll be back here on Thursday, God's will, when we do this all over again. And always remind you, please, protect your mental health. Everything you see, you don't have to respond. Everything you hear, sometimes you have to. Everything you hear, you don't need to respond. Everything you see, you don't need to do something about it. Sometimes you have to just pretend that it is not happening. Yes? Have that conversation in your mind. Stay positive. Because remember, if you don't remind yourself each day as to why you get up, why you do what you do, sometimes you can feel a bit despondent. Yeah? You may feel like giving up. Don't give up today. Don't give up today. Find a reason to keep going. Find a reason to keep going. Help someone that may be in need of help. Keep moving forward. Remember, the goal remains the same. I'm Austin Crosby, wishing everyone a fantastic day.
Do you know that you can lower your electricity bill by using energy-saving bulbs? CFLs and LEDs use up to 75% less energy than your traditional bulbs, and they even last 10 to 25 times longer. Over time, consider switching to more energy-efficient CFLs and LEDs, which can help lower your electricity bill. As an individual consumer, I cannot impact global fuel prices. However, I can ease the burden of rising fuel rates by using energy-saving bulbs. What can you do?
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
For your education.
for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, best believe. Cards ready, cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready, cash you already know. We got it all, we on the go. Cards ready, cash always ready. When you're ready, let's go.
Courts Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
Sisson's WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Shine.